$2.99 for your real engagement?
Yes, I really got it. I was like, I am officially, what do they call that? What do they call those people? An influencer. I was officially an influencer. I got some checks and I was like, hey, so I just want you guys to know, welcome to Muscle Matters. You caught us in the middle of the conversation. I'm officially an influencer. Just putting that out there. I got paid by Meta, even though my Instagrams aren't monetized. So like, it's weird. Zuckerberg likes me over here, but he doesn't like me over there.
Yeah, footfluencer is the right word for you.
Man. I wonder if I can make that. I got some big zapatos. I wonder if I could put those things up there and make some money off that.
Calves, you can't even fit into a picture frame.
God. I wonder if there's a fetish for that.
There are huge fetishes for this. I just don't know if there are fetishes for that.
I've always wanted a Lamborghini.
You've received one more check from Zuckerberg than I've ever received, but you still had to pay for the blue check. So I don't know what that says about you.
Well, you know what? It makes sure that I'm cool.
Self-verified, that is.
Yes,
Guys,
I'm an influencer.
This is welcome to another episode of Muscle Matters. We're your hosts, Blake Bernard, Steve Southers. Today, we want to get into a couple relevant topics. Some athletes found the news recently and take this thing for a spin. They have muscles on their bodies, so I guess that qualifies that we can talk about them on Muscle Matters. Steve, why don't you lead us into the first one, man? It's the tale of two chiefs. I think the article is labeled.
Yes.
Come on, Josh. Fast your fingers, dude. There we go.
I bet if this was a streaming Twitch game, he would be quicker, huh?
Hold on. Can you read that? Or
okay, so here we go right here. Tale of two chiefs. Okay, we're gonna find out how good I really done this. I panicked in school. Travis Kelce chugged a beer at a graduation, encouraging the graduates to party and drink alcohol. Harrison Butker encouraged graduates to get married and start a family. Travis was praised by the media. Harris was ridiculed. In a world of Travis Kelce's, be a Harris Butker, and I completely agree with that. I'll keep jumping on why I'm on this. Travis Kelce makes sense. It's college. The majority of these kids, college degrees vary, and I'm going to upset a lot of people when I say this. There are various levels of college degrees that require, I don't want to say if I majored in a certain thing, but if I majored in something that liberal arts type of thing, I'm really not going out getting a job that's making a lot of money.
You're speaking to a liberal arts major, bro.
But are you following your liberal arts? You chugged a beer at the podium with the rest of them. That's where I'm going. That one right there is normally reserved for athletes. I'm going to get a PE degree. I'm going to get a liberal arts degree.
Communications. That's how they keep you eligible.
I'm going to sit over in a trailer and watch television and do this right here, so I can be on no.
No one told me there were no PR jobs in Bakersfield. I also had zero common sense, and my parents weren't speaking into my life in that way.
So the Travis Kelce makes sense. I get them in. Could you imagine being when you got your graduation, some football player is going to get up there, crack the beer upside his head, chug it down his throat. You at that age where you're just like, bro, I'm done. Mm-hmm. You got your hook 'em horns in the air and you're screaming right along with Travis. But as an adult, and we're going to slide over to the guys and gals who have those degrees that make a lot of money, like doctors and brain surgeons. The other one rings truth. Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest, you're going out into the world now, and the world is completely caca. It was caca when I was a kid, but now it's just like fresh caca. And it's when you create a team environment, it works so much better.
Mm-hmm. Team as in the family?
Yes.
You're referring to family?
Yes, it works so much better. Now, but at that age, Travis Kelce would have worked for me.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm one of the guys who actually started a family right out of college. And it's one of those weird things. Like I I had my fun in junior college, got into probably too much trouble, and then got that all out of my system for last 2 years, got to kind of chill a little bit. That's not how every college experience is, right? But I think it's telling the stark contrast between those two reactions, right? On one hand, we're glorifying Travis for doing the popular thing, and that's, shotgunning the beer on stage. That's like, I remember growing up thinking those Denzel Washington graduation speeches were super cool, telling people to like follow Christ, and like,
like that's what you're supposed to tell somebody to do.
What do you call those commencement speeches?
Yes.
It's like you're sending these guys off on their maiden voyage as an adult. You know what I mean? It's like, let's send them off the right way with some words of encouragement. And you see what's making the front page of the news. It's either, how ridiculous is this Harrison Butker guy for promoting maybe like atomic family values versus Travis Kelce probably doing the Gronkowski thing.
And like I said, Buckner's right. 100% right. That is the speech you're not supposed to tell the kids, let's go. They're going to do it anyway.
Let's go get hammered.
They're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're going to do anyway. You're supposed to Denzel Washington. You're supposed to give that speech. You're supposed to uplift them. You're supposed to let them know you are a college graduate. You are, what is it? What is college graduates like? 5%, 7% of the world?
Oh, that I don't know.
I know it's a real small percentile. So you're what, a 4-year degree, you're a smaller percentile than an AA guy, than a person who graduates from high school. You're a smaller percentage. You're supposed to be the percentage of the world that is supposed to take over and lead us into a bigger, brighter future. That's the whole college spiel. You're going to lead us into.
Does that actually happen?
I said it was the spiel.
Okay. All right. Do we want to go? Tom really wanted us to go down a rabbit hole. You want to get into what college really is?
Oh my goodness. Well, we were athletes. It doesn't count.
The University of Indoctrination. Let's talk about what they really learn with those degrees. So you go.
Okay, I'm gonna jump you real quick.
Go ahead.
So I hope you don't get mad at me. I'm not even gonna throw you say your name, but I'm gonna talk about one of my friends. He's a liberal, and he sent his son, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He sent his son to college. His son's a political major.
Mm-hmm.
His son decided that he wants to go and join the front and sit out there and boycott. I
thought you meant join the military.
No. He wanted to go sit out there and, rally the troops.
Sure.
And his dad called him on the phone. Is like, and he blanked him. You need to get your butt in class. I did not send you to school for this right here. And he literally drove up there to make him go to class, because college it's idealistic when you get there. You're home, you're away. My cousin, my uncle had money. He sent my cousin to Morehouse. My cousin never walked into Morehouse except to register.
Wow.
My uncle was sending him thousands of dollars a month. And my cousin decided he wanted to be a revolutionary as well.
Sure.
And he got arrested off campus, and my uncle called and was yelling and screaming at the dean. And the dean let my uncle yell and scream at him, and then kindly said, well, Mr. Hunter, your kid's never been to class.
I'm more concerned about the kids that are actually showing up to class and what they're getting away with teaching, but that might be a conversation for another day.
I'm trying to hijack it so because
you saved our audience
because
a rabbit hole.
It's liberal arts. It's,
100%.
It's what it's Soros paying for everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So
100%. They're handing out pamphlets on how to raise hell and get conservative voices off of campus. Have you seen
the pamphlets on how to start a revolution?
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's here in California, man.
Yes.
So, okay, we have a second bit of media to go over. This one's a video. The backstory on this. Okay. The backstory on this is what is this? In Oregon, female race first place finish goes to a transgender. What do you call it? Is that a transgender male or transgender female?
Just call it an athlete.
Okay, with a guy who shouldn't be in the race. Okay, and he gets booed off the podium. Do we have it? Oh, there we go. Transgender high school runner in Oregon booed after winning girls' state title. What do we say? Oh man, here's the deal. Are we shocked? Even in Oregon, are we shocked?
Oregon is very open-minded. Portland is, all those places up that direction is very. That's like the blue in the blue.
Yeah. So what do we think was going to happen, guys? If your daughter who's trained their entire life, you were talking about this right before we went live. If your daughter who's trained her entire life to compete at a high level gets beat by someone who should not have been allowed in the race, how are you supposed to take that as a parent?
Yeah. Now, I keep telling you, I'm this minority person. All these stereotypes would have come out right. The stereotypical angry black male would have come out at that moment. There is no ifs, ands, buts, buts. My daughter is not second place. My daughter is first place. I don't care what you guys say. Take that medal off that person. Put that medal on my daughter. You're not denying my daughter her place in history. That time is going to be stricken off the record.
My views are going up as you keep talking.
My daughter set the state world. My daughter is the state record holder, not that person right there. Oh my goodness. And with my size, I would have no problem looking at the security going, come on.
Man, I don't know how they keep their composure or how they even allow their child to even show up for the race. You have to know that person showing up, right? Like everybody in town, you actually mentioned there's a softball player in town right now that is known for being transgender, right? And competing in the wrong sport.
Yes.
These chicks know, and they're still taking the blocks. As a parent, I don't know that I would allow my daughter to experience that disappointment.
No, I would not take my daughter out of the race. I just, I thought about maybe the kids should lock arms and run down. I would tell my daughter, that person you run against, that doesn't count. These other.
So you get second. You're still first in my book, honey.
These are who you're competing against right here. These are I know me, and I know how competitive my family was, and I'd be like, yeah, but if you kick that person's butt, yes, I will celebrate you forever.
More than state champion.
Yes,
100%.
But what are the chances? Like what was it, a couple years ago? Those boys that went first, second, and third, it made big headlines a couple of years ago. They were already track athletes in the male sport,
right? And
then they slid over, so they were already. I think they weren't quite the first and seconds, but they were already the top of the dogs, and they slid down and came first, second, and third. So now, like I said, I just would have I'm a girl dad. I've got a daughter. I am a girl dad, and my girls are precious. I would flip out. Like my boys, I'd go over there and tell them to foot sweep and nut check them. But my girls, I would flip out. So this person that took first place, this isn't somebody that decided to undergo hormone therapy and then decide to go be a track athlete. I'm going to say there's a above 60% chance that they were already running track.
Yeah.
And then they decided to slide over and become a track athlete. Are these senior girls?
You're saying this is not an untrained individual just going out there first time running track.
Yeah, and I underwent hormone therapy, and now I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be a female runner. It's not how it works.
Well, let's talk about why physiologically males do not belong in the same competitive stage as females.
Oh my goodness. I'll let you break that down, because I was called a liar once when I tried to break that down to somebody.
That we have more testosterone?
Oh no, the hip placement, the knee placement, the elbow, just the pure alignment of the joints in the body and the legs. I was told I was a liar.
I don't know why none of them have volunteered to fight in the UFC yet.
Oh no, did you
this happened? Am I out of the loop? What happened?
Not a male to female, but a female to male.
That's called suicidal ideation.
Yeah, bruh, it was bad.
There's a hotline for that.
Oh, it was bad. I was like, ooh. Go, buddy.
No way.
Yes.
So the fight actually
It
happened?
was a cage.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yes.
This is what
39,
YouTube's for.
39 seconds.
Josh won't pull it up for us. but
39 seconds.
He's going, I'll get canceled. Okay. So the big deal is, let's talk about testosterone. Okay. I have an issue with this because this is one of the clearest, what do you call it? Hypocrisies in this whole issue is that on one hand, you're allowing males with full-blown testosterone having undergone a sex change. I don't know what changes they make. I'm sure they pump them full of estrogen, but they still retain all their muscle mass, right? They're allowing them to compete in sports with inferior, what do you want to call it?
Okay.
Athletic, hormonal.
We're going to pull back the word
circumstances.
inferior because so the women feminists who I keep wondering where they're at for
They're allowed to compete against weaker vessels.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Structurally impaired individuals.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you've got them disqualifying females for having too much testosterone. Natural females, right?
Yes.
At the Olympic level,
Yes.
they're being accused of doping, even though they're within
Yes.
natural ranges
Yes.
for literally being just gifted with
Yes.
more from birth. And so, like, what are your thoughts on that, man? How does it make you feel as a guy who's we've been in human performance?
Enhanced testosterone makes a world of difference. Take it from somebody who took the testosterone. It makes a world of difference. I don't care how you want to say it and you want to do it. Bone density. My bone density from when I was competitive and I took that stuff, my bone density is going to be a lot stronger than any 50-year-old man my age that didn't put 700 pounds on his back and go up and down. Yes, I do pay the price for it, but my bone density, there's a better chance that I don't get, what's that big word, osteoporosis versus some other guy that's going to be in his 70s and 80s because the bone density from being able to hold that type of weight. So you take testosterone, the bones are going to get thicker, they're going to get stronger, they're going to be moving more. I mean, little Tommy can play with little Janie and they can wrestle each other up until about the 6th or 7th grade. And then all of a sudden little Tommy's voice goes, Mom, how you doing? And it's like, oh, you guys can't play together anymore.
It's kind of what do you call it? Disconcerting when you see the chick in first place standing on the podium with an Adam's apple. It's kind of strange. Is it like kind of off-putting?
3-4 inches taller. I got another
Visibly, noticeably
wider, broader
physically.
shoulders.
I know.
Yes.
It's absolutely wild. So I guess my question is, like, I hope and pray I'm never put in that situation as a dad. But man, I mean, like, I don't think there are any guarantees the way this thing's headed. So my question is, like, we use sports as fathers to teach our kids awesome lessons. It's like a cool medium for them to like deal with life before life becomes a hits them like gets thrown at them in the face. Right?
Sports is the ultimate. Sports are the ultimate life learning lesson things because you learn how to be competitive. You're going to get up and go to work. You're going to be competing against other people. If you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a hustler, whatever it is you're trying to do, you've got to compete. And sports help you and teach you to compete. Good sportsmanship. If I lose, no matter what, when you lose, you got to walk across and shake the other dude's hand. No matter how much you hate that person, you got to walk over there and you got to make the shake. It just teaches you how to be good sports. It teaches you how to be respectful because there's somebody who's actually controlling the game. You can't go yell at the referee.
So what's the lesson here? Like if your daughter was in that race, what are you saying to her that's an awkward drive home, right?
Oh, on the ride home, I'm building my child up. I'm building her up. I'm just the type of person that I am. I'm going to build her up all the way on the way home. I'm going to tell her, baby, don't worry about it. We're going to petition. We're going to take this to the top. You're going to get your gold medal when this is all said and done. You're going to get your 5 minutes. I'm going to make sure this is going to the top. You best believe we're taking it over here. I'm going over to the local NAACP office. Sure. I'm going to make a stink that's like nobody's stink before. And I'm really shocked that well, I'm not shocked because I know there's stinks that are being made, but it's being pressed down because that's not what the media wants to push right now. That's not what they're pushing on people. I mean, the ultimate stink, I'd probably get kicked out of the school district because I'm boycotting the school. I'm going to round up 100 like-minded people like myself to boycott the school every day. I'm going to boycott the principal's house. I will sit there morning, from the time they go to the crow crows in the morning to the moon comes up at night. I'm going to be sitting in front of your house with a sign boycotting.
What do you want your daughter to learn from it?
I want my daughter to learn that the world's unfair. And if the world's being unfair, you take it with a grain of salt and you go out there and you overcome and you let them know I'm here. And that's why I said when we started this subject, my answer was different. And then once we started talking, I realized, no, my child's going to go out there and compete. She's going to go out there and show them, I am woman, hear me 100%. Roar. I'm not backing down. Cool. Life is not fair, but I will not let you see me down. And I'm going to tell my daughter, when you get on that podium, you hold up and you let everybody go. No, I'm number one.
100%. That's a powerful lesson, man. I mean, like, obviously we want our kids to know that obviously control the controllables. And, my favorite John Wooden quote is that just giving your 100% is like giving your all, the best effort you possibly could have is like true success. Mm-hmm. Whether you win or lose or whatever, you did everything you could. And that sounds really sappy. I used to not like that when coaches told me that. Now being and I'm not 31, dude, just a little bit more life experience than when I first heard it, 14 or whatever. Dude, I get it now. It's really it's kind of like the friends you made along the way. They're the only things that matter, But ultimately, I'm looking for obstacles like that to teach my kids lessons. And man, I mean, let's face it, she can't control who she lines up against. But did she give it her best effort and lead up to it and the practice in the face of knowing it would be there?
Yes, 100%. Walked out there, looked them square in the eye, and just gave him the stank face.
I think it'd be cool to have a gold medal ready in your back pocket. Just trot your happy butt down there.
So if your child ever has to do something like that, where they have to compete against a trans athlete, I like that idea. Have a gold medal ready for your child.
And a big one, like a Flavor Flav.
Oh my God, yes.
Gold medal that's just obnoxious.
Yes, true number one. True winner. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh man, yeah. Thank you. I hope that part goes viral, so somebody in the world can look up and go,
"It was our idea first."
Yes, our idea first. Somebody will look at their child and go, "The winner is." Yes.
It's just interesting because, do you see this any different than I don't know, a guy? I remember when I was in high school, there were guys that were clearly using PEDs. They were just, years beyond everybody else.
But the difference being, the guys that were on PED in high school, and there were tons of them. Every time you leveled up, you couldn't use them anymore. So I watched a lot of guys that were on PEDs. They make it to junior college, Division IIs. But once you hit that AA, you might get away with it year one at AA. But AA is going to look down and go, here's a random P test. And let's face it, nobody knows how to beat a drug test in college. You're going down.
Right.
And then once you go down and you make that ban list, it's just an automatic visit every week.
My question is, do you have the same level of disgust? Right. I was thinking that scene in Dodgeball when they're bringing out the Girl Scouts.
No, you know why? Because I remember trucking a dude that was completely roided out, and after I trucked him out of bounds, I threw the football at him.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Ran him over out of bounds and knew he was juiced and threw the football at him. Yeah, had a bunch of verbal nice words for him after I trucked him.
Dude, I love that. Well, I think that's a good place to stop this. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to teach our kids lessons that obviously are backed by the core values that we're teaching them at home. I think that it's easy to look at these situations in a vacuum, minus what's being taught at the dinner table, and even I talked to Tom and other pastors about well, what do you do in these certain situations? And a lot of time the answer is dude, if you're worried about what your child's going to do in that situation, you probably need to do more work leading up to, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you can trust how they're going to react.
My initial thought was unify, you see where they unify and they walk down and they hold hands. My unified thought was, no, make a unified front. We're not competing against the person. Kumbaya, my Lord, go down. Then
why people don't think like that.
And then my brain went, no, baby, you go out there and run your race. regardless of who lines up next to you, you run your race.
100%.
The reward is, history will rewrite itself. And I guess once again, I'm going to rehash something I said before. I don't understand how the feminine movement is not yelling and screaming their heads off, like female athletes,
Right.
Professional female athletes that are on the side. Like, how are
This
you?
probably could have already been fixed. It would be a non-issue if they would have
Unified.
reacted the same way.
They would just, if the ones at the top would unify and be like, this isn't fair to the children.
Mhm.
Like, if LeBron James, and it's been said a million times, if a guy like LeBron James decided let's not even say LeBron James, let's go that 6th, 7th man off the bench. He's 6'9". He has a 52-inch vertical leap. And he decided, I want to be a star. Now, luckily the money's not in the WNBA, but he just wanted to be a star. I want a Nike deal. I want all these things, especially right now they're paying the WNBA for sponsorships.
Mhm.
It's a real big push in the sponsorship for the WNBA players, which is really good. Decided, no, I'm tired of being unknown on the back of the bench. I'm going to go join the LA Sparks. He put up 50 points a game.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Did you see the screen that Caitlin Clark ran into the other day?
Yeah.
Now to imagine.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. She still be looking for her retainers.
I know it.
Look, I just don't get how feminists are just not up in arms. I mean, women empowerment. Women have fought so hard to get a foot up. The equal pay. Yes, keep fighting for equal pay. Equal rights. Yes, keep fighting for equal rights. Women have fought for so much, and now the God's honest truth that nobody wants to be hearing. You're being replaced by men. Women and little girls are being replaced by men. You've spent years fighting to get voting rights, fighting to be able to get out and work, fighting for equal pay. You're fighting for all the list is long for all the things that women have had to fight for equal opportunity. I mean, a lot of churches don't even let women be preachers. I mean, women are right, like 1A above 1B minorities. You're right there in the minority class, and you're allowing yourself to be replaced. Like, I don't get how you can allow yourself to be replaced and not make a stink about it.
Do you think it's because the most active, the biggest female activists are largely, if you think about it, the proponents of the left agenda, were they athletes?
They're retired athletes.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, the one
Are they? They're not the liberal arts degrees.
That soccer player who's all for it. It's amazing how she's all for men being in sports now that she's retired.
Oh, dude. Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah.
Gross.
Men can be in sports. Oh, you're retired and you made your money.
Yeah.
Now, Messier wanted to go over there and be on the women's soccer team. That was your spot, bro. You ain't gonna have it.
Yeah, we saw her cry about much smaller issues. I'd love to see that. Well, guys, hey, I hope this was stimulating for you. This is when, oh my goodness, it is late, Steve.
It's okay.
This has been another episode of the Muscle Matters podcast. We are your hosts, Blake and Steve. Steve, tell them where you can find you.
Come down and check me out over at Sportland West, the family store. We're located at 7420 District Boulevard, Suite number 8, right across the street from Nestle.
Had a baby. Guys, if you have an athlete 10 and up that is looking for summer training, send them down to Grindhouse Strength and Conditioning. We will make sure that they have the fastest, most explosive, and electrifying fall season yet. And this has been another episode of the Muscle Matters podcast. And until next week, 6:30 Pacific, hail strength.
Ish.